Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Tier Tier's review of the blue Nanoha reflection cards. And look, I think we just get right into it, or does anyone have anything to say regarding, because I know that the blue cards are not to be taken in vacuum, so does anyone have anything they want to say in regards to the cards we've already covered? Anything we should keep in mind? No?
No.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We can just get straight in then. With the first card, which is Knight Armor Modified Hayate. It's a 1045, and it is what is the it's the Kirito. When this is placed from hand to stage, you check the top card of your deck, and if it is either a blue or magic character, then this gains 2,000 for a turn, so it becomes a 6,500 beater. Perfectly serviceable, nothing overly special. But the more important effect is the second one. When this is placed from stage to waiting room, so either in the Encore phase after it dies, or if you overplay it, you may reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you choose to do so, like any number, 1, 2, or 3, you choose up to 1 character that is blue or magic among them, add it to your hand, ditch the rest, and then discard a card from your hand to waiting room. So this is precisely, I actually don't know the name of the card, but it's
Determination
Kirito.
to fight with life on the line.
So that actually was it. I wasn't entirely sure if that was it. I didn't want to sound too stupid, but yeah, you sounded stupid for me. It's that card, and that's a pretty decent card in SAO, and I think most builds of SAO are happy to run that because this is a decent ditch outlet. It is a serviceable beater, and in a pinch, it is a on-demand ditch outlet if you're happy to play over it. And it also top checks, which is nice. What do you guys think about the upshifting of rarity here?
I think it deserves it. I think Kirito as a rare is it's definitely a double air card.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think that
That's
it
it's a
only
good enough
wasn't a
card.
double R because the re-edit booster was trying to highlight the new Switch combo, and they were just playing around with the idea of rarities at that point. But yeah, I think this goes in the deck. Maybe not completely without thought, but I think that since Nanoha is I think Nanoha will appreciate this card. Just having a reasonably sized card in your maybe third lane that also serves as a bit of a free, quote unquote, free mill outlet. That also gives you a discard out. I think this plays enough roles to make it into the deck. I don't hear any objections, probably because you all agree with me. And uh, look, we
It's
still haven't
free
done. I
mill. It's
still
free
haven't.
mill.
You're right. It is free mill. Still haven't done the new rating system because doing the rating system and then applying it to one color of a certain set feels really, really dumb. So I promise I'll get on that afterwards. But using our old rating system, what do you call this? Playable plus?
I think it's
Playable
playable plus.
plus.
Wow.
That is that is what I call it.
Everyone thinks it's
Agreed.
playable plus.
Wait,
You made it sound like a playable card.
me?
Playable.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh, I'm just sarcastic by nature. I think this card is playable plus. If you want to go by the new system, this is like a B
B. Yeah, B
plus.
plus. Wow.
I'd go B plus. I think this is a fine card.
Yeah.
I'm Australian, not Austrian, so I don't hate on Kirito needlessly. Next card is Kiri, Determined Will. Is that how you pronounce it? Kiri? Kyrie? I don't
It's
know. I don't
Curie.
really.
But you don't want to sound stupid, so it's probably just Curie to you.
Hard for that. Hard because at least one of us is gonna have to sound stupid. I'll take the blow for the team. Kyrie, Determined Will. It's a 329k. If all your characters are Formula, this gains 1k power. That's not a good start because as we established, Formula is not the quote unquote meta deck by our reckoning anyway. When this attacks, you may pay 1. If you do, perform trigger check twice during this card's attack step. So we'll talk about this in a bit. This is a 3/2 with 2 soul, mind you. And this ability activates up to once per turn. During the turn this is placed from hand to stage. When your character in the front row center slot attacks, you may pay 3, ditch a formula card from your hand, and rest one of your other standing formula characters. If you do, stand this card. So I'm fairly certain that one of the big problems with restanders is, well, basically overshooting as a result of triggering. That's doubly bad on restanders that need to play Global Soul in order to get the restand. And as a result, I'm not convinced that the twin drive effect, the pay one to trigger check twice thing, is really any good at all in a deck like this, on a card like this. Because like on level one cards, right, you can get the twin drive because at that point, triggering an extra soul is fine. It's more than fine. Sometimes you just get extra damage, and I guess you mill one card for whatever that's worth. But on a card like this, I don't think you'll want to be actively doing this unless you're paying out a climax, right?
You can use the twin drive to try to go for like side plays for more precise damage. So you can
It's not
That
precision,
sounds
right?
that sounds really
like
bad because
like
let's
you twin drive your first attack. If you hit a soul trigger when you resend, you can side for one, something like that. Other than that, yeah,
sure.
not much else for twin drive.
But
If,
you're
for
not.
example, well,
That's
because
not
you're never going to
precise
side
though.
twice, right? It's exactly
Potentially
not precise.
potential. Okay.
I disagree because of the random nature that goes against the idea of precise. It is you can customize it. That's what it is. That's right. That's all right. It gives you a few more options because at base level, this is still a fine card in that deck. It's a non-climax combo reliant restander at a reasonable cost, meaning you can hit someone for two and then hit someone for two again with reasonable luck. Sometimes you'll be hitting for three, then four, but even that's not the end of the world. It's
Isn't
not
this
completely
overcosted?
abysmal.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, I think it is by like one
I
stock at least.
I think so because the Satan is a ditch two of anything, and you can rest it. Rest. You have to rest a traded character, but you can ditch anything. And it's two stock. Two stock, ditch
Yes.
two of anything. But I think that does not equal pay three, ditch one specific card.
Wait, doesn't that mean Saturn's overcosted if it's pay two ditch two?
Either
It's
that
just
or
shiny
it's the same. Yeah, either that or this is undercost.
Oh well,
It's the
I
same
don't think
thing,
it
right?
matters too much.
Well,
Ultimately,
I think three stock kind of sucks for
I,
restanders
I
like
do
this.
think so.
It's like less.
But
It's like a number that's a little harder to get if you want to do like triple, for example.
I suppose. But is triple what you'd be trying to do in the formula deck?
Oh,
Like, is
maybe
this...
not. I guess, but it's not. It's probably off the table to begin with, right?
You don't
I
have the
guess.
stock to be able to do triple, mainly
But
because it's a 3 cost.
doesn't this kind of makes up for it with, you know, the ability to customize your damage in other ways, right?
A little
Kind
bit.
of. It's
Eh,
like damage ceiling is always a thing, but I do think that the ability to narrow down the amount of damage you do from being like a 4 or whatever to something lower is fine because like we've said, if you twin drive the first one and then your soul goes up to like 3, for example, you can side and then twin drive again, and with all likelihood you're going to hit maybe, you know, a 1 or a 2, even siding against level 3, which is sometimes that's like a worthwhile gambit. Normally that's a really bad idea, but here I think you drive the chance up enough that you can actually go for it and not feel too bad.
uh,
I wouldn't call it like a headliner play, but
uh,
it's an option.
uh, I mean, it's not a bad. This isn't a bad profile for the formula deck. I think
No, I think
overall,
it's fine.
It's just like
it's like nice. You can
I
play
think
this
what you-
alongside your other climax combo.
Like if the twin drive was mandatory, I would call this a not very good card. But
Maybe
because
it's like
not
extra
mandatory,
text. Yeah, it's like
it is
extra text.
exactly that. Like you can pretend that the twin drive doesn't exist, and as a result, you can't mark a card down because it has an extra option that you may not use. That's not
Well,
something.
I mean, it could have been something else, but like,
Yeah, sure,
it's
but what
not.
else could it-
Yeah, it's
what
not.
could it
It's
reasonably have
it's
been?
not a reason to say the card's worse, which is what you're saying. To your point.
No. Like if you just add something onto an otherwise fine card profile, like I do think this actually is a bit more valuable than something like on attack, give another card, you know, 1k in one level or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. It could have been a lot of. It
On
could have
further
been
damage.
better, but it also could have been worse. So whatever.
Yeah, so this is like
It's like
a
a
middle of the road restander, not climax combo tied, and that sort of profile is, in my eyes, perfectly playable.
yeah
And
niche
that's
playable
a
probably.
yeah, I guess
This
this is
I
like
mean
a
the cost kind of put it into just the formula deck, right?
yeah, this is like a playable niche or like a B minus niche if you want to go into that way. But yeah, it's a fine card for formula deck,
I mean,
and
you,
it
you could you could technically play it in you can try to force it
Oh
into a
no,
meta deck. You
stop.
just have to play the Amitié global,
No.
or not global, the assist that gives formula trade.
no. Not only that, but you have to
Oh
be having
baby.
played a back row during that turn, and you need to have an actual formula card in hand. So
Yeah,
that sounds very, very ambitious.
Hmm.
yeah.
Rip anyone who opened this DSSB, I guess. And yeah, let's move on to a magic trade card. This next card is Hayate Twin Cannon 3295. If you have two or more other characters that are either blue or magic, this gains 500 power and blue card encore, which is interesting, I suppose. It is a heal, so when you play it from hand stage, you can put the top card of the clock in waiting room, and when it attacks, if you have a wonderful combination in the climax zone, wonderful combination being let's
Pants.
see,
An,
I'm not going to look it up.
oh,
What
it's a
is it?
pants. It's a pants.
Pants. It is a pants.
Sorry, gate.
Uh,
I think you meant. We
no,
mean, we mean gate.
shut up.
Sorry,
Shut up.
arch.
Shut up. When this attacks, if you have the pants in the climax zone, mill 5 and deal X damage to the opponent, where X is the number of climax cards you mill to play. Then this gains 1k to the next end of your opponent's turn.
Did you see that climax?
I
That
think
climax made worlds.
the encore would have been nice if the Hayate anti-damage required you to win board to use her effect, but it doesn't. So
This is just the encore heal, right?
Yeah, it's just an
yeah,
encore heal. The climax combo isn't very good.
Because like even in the Hayate or like the pseudo waifu deck or whatever, you have better level 3 combos to be playing, right?
yes.
Do you think the anti-stand is a better combo than this?
I'm
The
almost
Xenon's
convinced
better,
it
right?
is. I'm almost convinced it is.
Mm,
It's so
oh,
close.
if you because like that's like the only other like quote unquote top end combo you could play for like a Hayate waifu kind of deck.
Look, I guess
So
it being pants is like more than nothing, right?
Uh, kind not.
I don't know. Like I don't think this combo is ever your first option because spoiler, this combo kind of sucks. It is free, which is really nice, but it also just goes straight through your quote unquote compressed deck. Because assuming you play a couple Haitos down, that's adding like 4 to 6 cards plus whatever you healed into the deck pool. And then when you mill through your whole deck, you're going to have an uncompressed deck afterwards. So if the game goes long at all, which is something you're presumably hoping for, you're playing a bunch of heals, you're not going to be faded.
I mean,
Is that
Nanoha has to play a long game because like your mainstay game plan is the anti-damage Hayate.
sure, sure. But is that a reasonable assessment? The anti-damage Hayate is fine, but you can't do it like 5 times a game. You can do like 2 or 3, I think.
Two or three is reasonable.
And eventually that's just going to catch up to you and you're going to get burned for something. I don't know. I'm not convinced that this should ever be your main plan.
This card sucks.
It's a
It's
healer.
it's
It's
a heal.
Hayate's best healer.
It's an
So like
encore heal. Like
you
it's almost strictly better than the old Hayate heal. Don't go
wait,
looking up that card.
it is
Don't
strictly
look.
better than that card.
I know that card is also an encore heal, but I don't remember what set it's from, and I'm not going to look it up.
It's
Like this card
from
is.
A's.
Oh god, now I have to look it up.
We're comparing this to an A's card.
Dude, okay,
You
so this card
know, I
when your
think
opponent
that's
plays
like that's a pretty bad thing, isn't it?
when your opponent
I'm
plays a
gonna.
climax, she gains hand encore.
Okay, so the only reason I know about this card is I did one of those gachas in Akihabara, and I got the SP version. So there, the more you know.
Uh,
Oh my God, this is awful. Yeah, it's strictly better. Like there is nothing redeemable about this A's card. So yeah, Hayate got a better heal. Now you can play 8 heals in Hayate.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's enough joking. So I I do think that if you are playing this combo, it's not going to be your main plan, but it's a fine heal, and Encore is fine. Like blue card Encore is actually pretty good because you can like ditch climaxes that you picked up with pants or just
Um,
any card that you don't want.
I mean, like assuming your main game plan is your anti damage. Like if you blow all your stock on your anti damage, this lets you like the blue marker lets you keep a 2 soul attacker for your next turn. That's a
Also, what should be noted is this combo is completely free, so that's also useful. It's not a
meh.
good combo, but at least it's free, right?
yeah.
You know,
It works with your anti damage, I guess, if that's what you're
my
trying to get at.
yeah, man, it's like Mighty Number Nine logic, better than nothing. I I think it's
Sick.
fine. I'm gonna give this a playable, just a straight playable, because you can put this in any deck, and I don't think you'll be too upset about it.
I
And
would
you can
be.
ditch it to the anti damage because it's
It's
higher
Hayate,
table.
yeah.
So yeah, Sayaka bonus. You just give cards free rides because they have a name in the title.
Ugh.
Whatever. I'm going with playable. Um, any comments? Any ratings?
No,
Playable.
that's playable. Because it's
Sounds
a
good.
healer. If it were anything else, I don't think it's a.
It's Healer with Encore, which is more than nothing. All right, next card. Rain in Sportswear. It's a 001k Brainstorm. Self-tap Brainstorm. For every Climax card you reveal, search your deck for one blue character or Signum or Vita. And it also gives 500 power to the middle front row center slots.
Uh, this is probably worse than Nanoha, but
Certainly worse than Nanoha.
Yeah,
it's you
it doesn't pick
can
up half your deck.
ditch
Mostly.
this for the anti damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't get Fate and you can't get Nanoha, and that's pretty big.
Yeah, I
Well, I
mean,
mean, the only Nanoha you play is Nanoha Brainstorm, unless they're
Yeah,
playing
but
the healer.
okay, but don't tell me you've never brainstormed for a brainstorm before, because I definitely have.
In
No, oh,
Nanoha
actually,
specifically,
not with a self tap. I haven't done it with a self tap before, unless like maybe I've done it because it was my only zero cost in the bin or something. But uh,
I mean, I have done that.
well, there you
Like,
go.
hmm.
So yeah, this is a niche card by default, I think. You're not gonna play it in a normal deck. Nanoha goes in there.
really? I think you could act like you could argue to play both.
I don't think so. Like,
Really?
It feeds your anti damage. Like the power
no,
pump can be relevant with your combo, and it
no.
gives you search access to your deck. It just
Uh,
doesn't pick up Fate, but it picks up the other half of your deck.
I don't know
I
about
don't
that
think you
one.
can rely on Lindy to get you every single fate you want. I think that even if you run one of this and three of the Nanoha, there are going to be times where that just bites you, and I don't want to. I don't really want to deal with that. When it comes to like two different colors of runner, then sure you can run a split because that barely matters. But when it comes to something that might actually impact your game in a way that you can control, I'm not really on board. Maybe if it turns out that you desperately need some higher tiers, which I'm not convinced you will, then you can consider playing some, but I wouldn't be cutting too many nanohalves for it.
Well,
If
no,
anything, I'd be going to
if you do a split, it would be like 3-1 or 3-2 of the like with Nanoha being the three because Nanoha is the better brainstorm.
sure, I can get on board with that. Uh, but I definitely wouldn't be playing this instead of Nanoha.
Mm,
Unless, if you mean four and then you cut to three and then add another and make it like 3 and 2. I'm still not convinced. There's a car siren going on outside. I apologize.
Hmm. Well, we can't hear it. So,
You can't hear it? Good. Okay. So, I think I'm still gonna call it niche. I'm not convinced you play like a 3-2 split. It might be right, in which case you can cut the niche rating. But this is a fine brainstorm with a proper deck. It's like playable plus, pushing good minus. This is also a B plus card. Any
Um,
objections? Oh, with niche, of course.
yeah. I think I'll call it playable plus. Well, meh. I think I have to go with
I
niche
mean, if
playable
it
plus
gets
actually.
everything relevant in your deck, it's actually just, a good brainstorm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't, then I'm loath to call it anything close to that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, next card. Levy or Levy. I don't know. It's
Oh,
another
oops.
brainstorm. Huh. That's interesting. Pay one self tap for each of two specific climaxes you mill in 4 cards, not 5. 4. Search your deck for a character with magic or weapon. Add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck and give one of your characters 1K for the turn.
This is the Vivid Strike thing.
It's
Uh,
vivid strike without half the text.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Not like, well, that sure. Not like you could replicate that text in a way that's like actually good for these climaxes. Um,
What are the climaxes? I
It's
they're
don't
both
have it
it's
books. They're both
yeah,
books.
it's 2 books.
And
Okay, so
one is
this
like
is
a
by definition.
super, one's like a super combo, and the other's like a level 2 combo.
So this is absolutely niche then, right?
Yep.
So it's just playable plus niche again in the appropriate deck.
Ugh.
Because I'm sure in the appropriate deck this is maybe your best card, but that might be because the appropriate deck is really bad. So look, I've got to rate these cards as they are. I can't like say, oh, this is a bad card because it means you're playing all these bad cards. It's a playable plus niche. The real rating
Yes.
is probably bad because it means you have to play all these other bad cards. But I'm charitable.
Okay.
Formula Suit Type K, Kyrie. It's a 002. Is this the third brainstorm in a row? Oh
Yes,
my god.
sir. It's
Uh,
also just
so
save spiel.
it's
Actually,
it's
you could. Well, you can't. You probably can't play the Nanoha in Formula, but this is like pretty whatever too. I don't know.
It's
You
like
probably just play this in Formula, I guess.
I swear
yeah.
Bushiroad, like when they were making this set, they just like looked at what people complained about old Nanoha and they're like, oh, they need brainstorms. Let's just give them 5 brainstorms.
Hey, look. In fairness, you already had one for Fate, so everyone else needs one now. Everyone else. So this
Yes.
Kyrie, um, I do want to note. So it's a self-tap brainstorm. To salvage formulas. I do want to note that it is 2/5 power, which means it lost out on having additional abilities because they decided to give it an irrelevantly high amount of power instead. The bonus is that the bonus this gets is that it beats 2Ks and 1/5s as a turn one play.
Yes.
But other than that, like that's not irrelevant. Like it means runners have to
Wow.
trade with it, but
Yes. Dude, the
but it also means
favorite. Your my favorite like alternate function of brainstorm.
because this could totally have been like a 1K power brainstorm with global 500 to formula.
I'm not joking,
Fun.
dude. Sometimes people can't kill 2/5s.
Yeah, but this could have been better
Well,
instead of
yes.
just being a niche case beater.
Maybe.
That's not gonna. I definitely think a global 500 brainstorm beats being a
Okay,
2/5
sure.
beater
If it,
because it totally could have had that text and it would have been fine.
well,
I'm
what if
not
it
gonna
had like
use that
center gets
against this
500?
card. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not gonna use that against this card. It's still a playable plus niche, just like with the other ones. But you don't play this except in the formula deck. I think that's pretty obvious.
Dude, if this had global 5 to all formulas, like, that'd actually be good.
Yeah, you'd have like a really good wall card with The gentle and positive.
Yeah, it actually like synergizes with your level 1 game instead of doing fucking nothing.
Wow.
And you have like a 2K counter as well. Like
Yeah,
that would
Formula
be
has a 2K
more than
counter.
reasonable. Okay, look, that's enough talk about what ifs. You're gonna have to deal with what you have. Next card is Hayate Straightforward Eyes. This is a 0025. If there are two or fewer cards in your stock, this gains 1/5 power.
Oops.
So generic, generic unbuffed 4K blue beater in the Magic trait deck.
Cool.
This is probably your beater of choice in the Hayate deck, but what about, generic Magic?
Uh,
It's still your wait generic magic, as in.
You've got, well, Nanoha Fate Hayate. Like you've got a
You could play this.
3K Clay,
I think you play
or you
this.
can play.
You, why not play both?
I think you can go for a split when it comes to cards like this, because they're both very likely to plus you, right?
Yes. Just play both.
So yeah,
I see no reason why you can't play both.
I think it will come down to color, really. I think they're both fine. Okay, so this is like playable plus. Shrug.
Oh, you go playable
Next
plus?
card. I'm. It's a plussing level 0. I give all of those playable plus.
Okay. It's fair, I guess.
Like why wouldn't I give a costless plussing 0 playable plus? The reason is I'd give it a better grade if it had additional function.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next card, Kyrie for hometown's sake. It's a 102k counter. It counters for 1k, but when you use backup, if you have a formula character, choose a battling character to gain 1k. So 2k counter for formula.
Cool.
Well, technically that's not true. It can be a 2k counter in general if you have a formula trait character.
yeah, but you have the Nanoha 2K counter, so like
Nice
I
try.
agree.
it doesn't even matter.
I agree. I just want to say that that's the strictly technically correct interpretation. This is a rare. I
The Nanoha 2K was a rare as well.
what is wrong with your set?
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
This is playable. Playable niche, I guess, because it does get to go in the formula deck, whereas the Nanoha counter is just in the quote-unquote meta deck. Shrug.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to an interesting cards. 104k Iria Artificial Intelligence. It's got a climax combo when Cruel Words is placed to the climax zone, and you have two more other formula trait characters, you may pay 1.
Wait, did you call her
I
Iris?
still don't... Sorry?
Did you call her Iris?
Uh, did I not call her Iris?
That's
I
not
thought
how.
so, no?
It's not. That's not how it's pronounced, dude.
Iris, okay, whatever. Um, what's the climax?
Stock soul.
So it's exactly gentle positive, but with a quote-unquote better climax. I don't even
Yeah.
think it's that much better.
Quote unquote better gentle positive, quote unquote.
I
Uh,
definitely
Gains
don't.
1 power.
And she
no longer-
searches.
And
Yay.
she searches, but she's limited to formula only. Yay.
So for those who aren't aware, gentle and positive was a thoroughly oppressive combo from Idolmaster in like 2010 or something.
Not
I
so
don't know the
oppressive
exact date.
anymore.
It's still good,
Still
but
good.
it's not so oppressive anymore. And the reason it's good is not because of it, but because of its support cards.
Yes.
This card is scaled up for, the modern day and age. It is Search, which is somewhat better than Salvage. And otherwise, it does have like an extra boost at the cost of, an extra requirement. The thing about this card is that it's got the additional text. When your opponent's standing character rests, so this includes back row, this includes brainstorms, tap to pump power, tap to swap climax, and tap to do
And
whatever.
attackers as well.
And attackers, because attackers all tap to attack. There's no vigilance in
Yeah.
this
The
game.
declaration of attack taps the character before the battle happens or before damage is dealt. So.
Yes, all sorts of attack, direct, side, and front. And if an opponent's character restands and attacks again, that will trigger this again. Now, the actual effect is that this card gains 1/5 for the turn, which means this card is on defense, effectively a 1055 at the very least. If you have another one, then that card's going to be a 107k, and the third one will be a 1085. This is all assuming your opponent doesn't, tap their back row to do anything. Doesn't have, I don't think I need to keep on elaborating. Point is, this card is way, way bigger than it looks. Especially because its climax combo taps all of your opponent's characters. So it says it only gains 1k power, but in reality, it will probably tap at least one character, which means it's more like a 6-5 attacker plus whatever boosts you have. And if you tap like two characters or you tap a freshly changed character, this
Oops.
card's going to be enormous. So do not underestimate how big this card will be on defense, and do not underestimate how big it'll be on offense. Like, even though it's a stock soul combo, it actually gains a bunch of power. The issue with this card is that it is costed, and therefore, in order to keep plussing, you're going to have to keep paying stock, which is a little outdated by, today's standards. But I think that it's so powerful in defense that it's a very reasonable card to call the centerpiece of a formula deck. I'm not sure if there's a better combo. I don't remember there
There's
being
not a
one.
better comp.
And
There's
even
yeah,
even if there is another combo, I think this would probably be better than it,
yeah.
right?
This is the best formula mode combo. The other
So
combos vanilla shimikaze.
yeah, I figured it would be something like that. Look, I at first glance, because it's costed, it doesn't necessarily look as good as something like a vanilla shimikaze, which you can pump a lot of power onto. But this is not only guaranteed, but also extremely sizable in defense. Now, unlike the one in Idolmaster, this one is most likely going to be quite vulnerable to level 1 bombs. Uh, I don't remember seeing anything that pumps level constantly for Formula.
There.
Uh,
People were definitely trying their best to look for
Oh
cards
my god.
that you could run.
So there's a 1/1 fate from Strikers that gives
Oh
you
no.
501 level in front.
No.
don't do this to me.
But it costs one, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a 1/1, man.
Okay. Look, if it does get to that point and you have a level 2 Iris, Irisu, whatever, I don't care, and your opponent was relying on level 1 bombs to reverse, well, I guess you get to free roll those matchups, but I'm not advocating putting that 1/1 Fate into your set, into your deck, just because of that. I think you're better off just playing this as is. I think this is playable plus niche. I'm tempted to say meta, like I actually am, because I really think this is a powerful profile, but I'm not sure it's quite there yet.
Oh,
Uh,
if formula like if when the second movie, fifth movie, whatever, when the next movie comes out, and if we get a set and formula mode gets a lot more support, I think that this combo actually has the potential to be really good. Just right now, formula mode sucks. Like you have like 3 good cards in
Yeah,
formula mode, and like you can only search your formula mode cards. So you can't even like play the Hayate Kirito clone. You can't play anything. You can't search them.
it's unfortunate, but that's where it'll have to stay. I maintain that this is a powerful card. If you are actually a believer in Formula getting more cards, I suggest you buy these and buy them now, if you don't already have them, because this is a powerful effect. Anything else?
no.
Guess not. Alright, next card. This is a good card. Hayate, New Story. It's a 1045. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have another blue or magic trait, this gains 2k for the turn. And during the turn this is placed from hand to stage, when the battle opponent of this is reversed, you may pay 1 and rest a standing blue or magic character. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 blue or magic character, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck.
I
Oh,
think it's
this
all the
profile
cool
is
cards.
this profile is so good.
The Hina Logi profile, which is a very reasonable profile.
It's
Yeah,
such a
this
good profile.
I'm very because I at one point in time I tried to help my friend make a Hayate deck, and what really stood out was how bad her level ones were. So I'm happy to see she's getting actual level ones.
Yeah,
Like,
like
have you seen her level ones? That one
yeah.
zero four five climax combo. Like, oh my
No, that
god, what is
like
wrong?
in the Hayate deck right now, I'm convinced you don't play a level 1 combo and
Yeah,
like you
I'm
play
pretty sure you
standby.
just play double level 3 combo, and
Oh
you just
really?
um
Double level 3 or stand? I was playing standby, but like whatever. You don't play a level 1 combo and then you just use this to supplement yourself and like
sure.
plus.
Standby might be better because it means you can stack out a Reinhardt and Hayate level 1 if that's are you even doing that? I'm not sure that's correct.
Mm.
That doesn't sound correct. It actually might be correct, actually. Huh? That's that's a really good point. Is that correct? I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Ah,
Wait, have you not thought about this before?
no,
That's the
no, no.
first
That was
thing.
that was actually my first idea for like my very first Nanoha deck was standby book with the anti-stand Hayate. But then like
Oh God.
I tried building the deck and I'm like, man, this deck fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I gave
I
up.
figured that would be the case. But hey, look, it's the first thing I thought of because oh, I'm actually not sure why it was the first thing I thought of. It just was. Anyway, this card is very solid. It's a non-climax combo reliance card that both beats down and can plus quite easily, especially because your brainstorm's a self-tap. So oftentimes you'll just have a random thing like the quote
Art
unquote
support.
off support, yeah, the fate support rather, doesn't tap, so you can just tap that and you get a plus off it.
It
And the one
synergizes
cost,
with your Minami as well because of the power bomb.
yep, just power pump because Fate already is pretty big by herself. So just chuck the power on this and get an additional plus, which is fully selective as opposed to being from the top four, which is very, very much appreciated. I don't think I'd be remiss to say this is like the glue holding the deck together in terms of fully sculpting your hand. Because you check top four, you get whatever piece you think is best, and then you get a reverse with this if you're lucky, and you can get the missing piece, which is certainly something you should be doing, I think.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
the meta deck, if it doesn't get the 2-1 reinforced support, it sort of falls apart really quickly
that card is
when you hit
insane.
three. Yeah, so like just being able to actually get like to tutor your deck for your 2-1 support, it pretty good. Who would have
Uh,
guessed?
we'll get to that card soon, and but I don't think I'd be exaggerating when I say the deck without the support is kind of sucky. The deck with the support is very, very good. So yeah, this card I think gets a. Oh, I
Good
don't actually know what I
minus.
want to give it. I think good minus is what I give it. Yeah, or like an A minus.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you play blue, you can just throw this card in no matter what you're actually playing. Like even in formula mode,
Oh,
I think you can like
I think
justify
if
playing this because it taps
I
blue and
think
it
if you're
searches blue.
playing, you get blue cards, but I think if you're playing something like formula mode, you're gonna have to go out of your way to give it some power because it's not gonna. You're
Yeah,
not gonna just have power thanks to Arf plus Minami. You're gonna need to
that
find some other
yeah,
source.
that's true. Like in the formula mode, if you're using this, you can like you'd have to use the Amicia global to or
Yeah,
global whatever. Like your only real power pump is that Amicia, which gives your formula mode. So like you can
isn't it a
activate your
Shimakai?
stock show combo.
I
Sorry.
thought there was a Shimakai.
Oh, you have
Isn't
a
there one?
Shimekai as well, actually. It's like you can use that
Yeah,
as well. But
yeah. So you'd have to run something like that, but that takes away slots. And right now, I think the quote unquote meta deck runs the Fate Minami combo, the double R Hayate that the Kirito, and then this Hayate.
yep.
I think that I wouldn't have minded if this was the double R and that card was the R. Like I think that would have been totally fine.
You think this is a double R profile?
I think well, I think we could certainly argue for it.
Oof. Oof. I'm inclined to agree. I think this profile is just absolutely amazing.
I think it's excellent, yeah. Um, just you can play it alongside anything really. You just need some power, and that's not too hard to find. Anyway, good minus, yeah, and that's a pretty decent rating. Next card, Kyrie, Will of Each's Own, is a 1045. When this is placed from hand to stage, it gains 1/5 for the turn, and accelerates, of course. Stupid mechanic. At the start of your climax phase, you may clock yourself from the top of your deck. If so, this gains 1k power and the ability. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, you may check the top four cards of your deck, add one formula character to your hand, and ditch the rest. So this is like the formula mode deck's version of the Hayate we just talked about, and it's so much worse.
Yep. Yep. Uh, yeah. You play this in the formula mode deck to like to recreate what the ones your high take could do, but at a
Yeah,
worse cost. But
it's
then on
like
the flip side,
reversing the situation.
yeah,
Yeah.
you reverse the effects. Like your combo tutors in formula mode instead of free mill, and this gives you the free mill. Whereas like Minami would be the free mill, and then the Hayate tutors.
Yeah, except the cost has been upgraded, the Fate is costless, and the Hayate is one stock, and then this is clocking, and the other Kyrie is or Irisu, the other Irisu is pay one, which is like I think it's a full tier worse in terms of level one game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of depressing actually. Is Formula the new Nanoha? Like how do I say it? Because Nanoha used to be a real sad deck. So is Formula now it's succeeding Nanoha as the sad deck, right?
Uh,
I guess it has a brainstorm.
I think
It can't be sad. It's got a brainstorm.
I think
This card's not
Formula is
bad.
I think
What the
Formula is
heck?
actually better than Nanoha, like the Nanoha shell.
I'm not speaking about Nanoha the character.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely
Okay,
not
yeah.
speaking about Nanoha the
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, you're
Um,
right. You're right. This is bad.
Look, even though we're saying that, I don't think this is a bad card. Like Tom said, this is not a bad card. This is just a painful card. And instead of it being like a bad card where you're thinking, oh damn, why are my cards so bad? You're thinking, oh damn, why is this other deck from the same set so much better? But you can't really use that to judge this card. This card is still like it's a playable card. I think it's playable niche, probably.
It's a
It's still
CXless
kind of small.
CXless potential plus that also gives a deck free mill that doesn't actually have that much free mill.
It's actually more mill than the Fate is because you clock.
Oof, one extra card.
So
Wow.
that one extra mill. Yeah, I'm still on playable niche. This is probably gonna make it into the Formula deck if it gets upgraded. Like you play one or two of this, kind of like the Hayate, but not as good. Any other ratings?
No, it's
Disagreements?
niche
Agreements?
playable in the formula mode.
Yep. Alright, next card. Kyrie Disagreeing Sisters, 105k. When the battle opponent is reversed, if you have... Look, I'm assuming that's a book. I don't actually know.
It's a
Let's
Pants.
see.
pants.
Okay, whatever. I'm like 0 for
You know, it's
5
funny
so...
because she doesn't wear pants.
Uh...
Uh,
cool story. Okay, so it's when the battle opponent is reversed with the pants in the climax zone, you search your deck for up to one formula character added to your hand. So this is the Shimakaze we were talking about earlier. Is there any world where you play this over the Irisu?
the world
Uh,
where you take
Uh,
Nanoha to Worlds, you play
Kyrie wife.
a pants, and then you win because pants are broken.
the world in which
Uh,
your combo won't live reliably, right? Like if the
um,
power is focused such that you know that your combo is very unlikely to live, then might as well just run this.
I think the only world I can imagine is one where you get an insane support and also an extremely stock-heavy mid to late game. Otherwise,
I
I'm
mean, like,
fairly certain the Irisu is better.
I mean, all you need is a meta where you know that Iris is just gonna get reversed every game, right?
Okay, like the formula deck right now is stock intensive and its top end, like because you have to play the gate combo.
Yeah, but it's not a good top end. Like,
Yeah, but it's still stock intensive. So like, would you run this now?
you can make an argument for it if it's really that stock intensive. But I think that you win the game in the mid game rather than the end game. So, for this deck anyway. So I don't think there's a reason to be playing this over that. I haven't tested, obviously. I'm just, spitballing.
You're spot on the money. I think this card is just an inferior combo to Gentle Plus.
Damn, I'm always right. Except when it comes to guessing climaxes. Uh, I don't know. Look, I still think this is like a playable combo, in the sense that there are worlds where I could see this becoming the preferred combo. Like if there was a hyper selective, extremely powerful level 2 game, like an upgraded version of Sunshine's double early play, something like that, you might be considering this over that. And even then, and it had to be stock intensive, obviously. Even then, like, the Irisu combo searches anyway, so that part of it's not a big deal. It's the stock that's the only real difference, I think. And I don't know if that's a big enough difference to make you play this ever. So yeah, just a playable niche. Okay, next card, Diark Dark Mana. It is a 3295. If you have two or more other magical weapon traits, this gains 1k power. When you play this from hand to stage, check top the top three cards of your deck, add one to your hand, and put the rest in your waiting room. And Climax combo, discard a card. Well, when this attacks, if you have King and Underlings, which I believe is one of the cards in that eight pants, one of the Climax for the eight pants deck.
8 book,
Eight book, sorry, eight book, whatever. That
zero
deck.
for 4.
Oh, zero from. Oh my god, I even knew this one. Like, this one pairs with the brainstorm that has the two specific climaxes. I knew that much. I
Yes.
just right.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not 0 for 5. So this pairs with that. If you have that book, that specific book in the climax zone, you may ditch a card from your hand. If you do, check the top three cards of your opponent's deck, choose up to three and put them in the waiting room, return the rest to the library, shuffle that library, and this gains 1k for the turn. I don't know if any
Is
of you are old enough to have played against Sengoku Basara, but how far we've come.
Dude, Sengoku Basara is the scariest deck in Weiss. What are you doing? Dante rips all 8 climaxes.
Again, you haven't played against 8 2 Soul ZNT, so you don't actually get to tell me about what the scariest deck in Weiss is. But
So
look,
like,
this card, despite the Sengoku Basara one being checked top 5 and not top 3, you get to attack 3 times here, which is way better than attacking only twice.
was this the first time it checked the top card, like checked the top cards of your opponent's deck's climax combo had a cost to it?
Um, I'm not sure.
Because I know
Uh,
the CXless ones had costs, but I can't think of any
yeah,
like CX
the
ones that do.
Chris, um, I mean the whatchamacallit, the climax. I can't even remember of ones that are climax combo dependent aside from Date and this one. I'm sure there are ones, but
Kina
you know,
Logic, Bang Dream,
relevant sets only, please.
Bang Dream.
I'm just kidding. Mocha's a pretty stupid card. I also don't think Mocha is comparable to this because Mocha
No,
is
it's
very
not.
much. Not only is it better it's better in like four different ways. This card's. I mean, it's the top end you're forced to play in this deck, right? It's not
In
special.
this,
In the 8 book Three Stooges deck, it's what you're forced into playing.
I think we've covered this in previous casts. You know, referring to the Chris in Konosuba. I don't remember what we said about Mocha. Probably that it was fine. Maybe like a niche card. And Mocha turned out to be a lot better than that. So I guess I've got a history of underestimating these cards. However, because this is tied to a climax combo, and because you have better climax combos to be playing, and because this is costed, and because it doesn't do very much else, I feel fairly confident saying this card's probably not that good. It's like a
Uh,
playable niche.
like one thing that it actually does pretty well for Nanoha is that it gives you it gives you dig power, which like no other level 3s in Nanoha actually have.
That is a good point. It is a magic trait, so you can just flash it in. It's in the right colors anyway.
Yeah, so like if you're like actually trying to go for like the pants combo, I guess, or like if you're playing tap counters and you're trying to find a tap counter, like this is the best card to find those for you. So it has
Okay,
some merit
so
there.
we can upgrade that then. It's like a just a straight playable then. It's like pushing playable plus. It's like a B minus. What I'm hearing. So I'd be
So,
playing it like I'd play the Megumin in Konosuba,
but then
where
like
I'm playing it just to dig.
see like on the counter side of that though, like your Ragnarok also digs. It just doesn't dig as far as this one does.
I mean, the Fate
So
also
like
digs. It just doesn't dig very
it's
far.
yeah. No.
There's an argument to like include one and not feel terrible about it.
Yeah. One seems alright.
Because I could totally
If you
see,
want the dig, if
yeah,
you want the dig.
because I could see a field of like one what Ragnarok Breaker, one remaining early play, and then one extra row where you play either a healer or something like this, and that doesn't sound unrealistic to me. I'm gonna stay with playable. I don't think it's much better than that, but it is certainly a card I would, or I am considering now. All right.
yeah.
Next card, Hayate, going out on a moonlit night. Moonlit night. 001K. When it's placed from hand to stage, give a magic or book character 1,500. Specifically does not target formula. And when this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay one and clock yourself from the top of your deck. If you do, draw a card. We did talk about this and how it was like pretty comparable to the Fate Salvage Ricky. Uh, this one has that additional relevant text that gives something 1/5 though. So that is why this has any consideration at all, and it has a reasonable amount of consideration. And yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
and
it
it's a
is
high
still
tech.
vanilla.
It's a Hayate, so you can ditch it for
Wow.
your anti-damage.
Sure.
It's a level 0 high tech. Lower than level 2 high tech, rather.
Yeah, it seems fine.
The power
Uh,
pump is also pretty relevant throughout the entire game. You know, it's
yeah,
good with your level 1. It can be good with your level, like, I think we talked about this. It can be good with your level 2
yeah.
if you're
We
trying to
already
use Fate
talked
Tail.
about this.
Then it's good at level 3 because, like, your level 3 field is also pretty weak, so if you need to front with your Ragnarok, like, this can make your front safer. It's like,
Yeah.
cards
So this
cards valuable at all points.
pulls double duty as both a plussing engine and a power pump, which is traditionally like you traditionally only have one or the other. You look at a deck like I don't need to give examples like Kuchi, Mikan, that sort of thing. Usually didn't have any additional upside, but this does. So playable plus, I think.
Playable
All right,
plus? Okay.
yeah, playable plus for me. It
Mm,
might be like it's a B is what I want to give it. I don't know how much better than that it is because it ultimately isn't super selective, which is what I really want out of my pain pluses. I don't know
Same.
if
mm.
that's a term that'll ever catch on, but hey, what can you do?
Man, clock draw is just so bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's not great.
like
It's just
I
hard.
don't even like thinking about clock draw like it's a plus. I think that the clock self draw is more just like a get yourself not stuck at 0 kind of effect.
No, it's definitely a plus. You can't really dismiss that.
Oh, oh.
It's kind of icky, but it is. All right. Next card, Irisu, girl who slept on the relic tablet. Eh. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have two or more other formula characters, you may draw a card. If so, ditch a card. Very powerful effect that we've seen recently in Love Live. And when this is placed from hand to stage, give a formula trait character 1k for the turn. This can help out with that Shimakaze, I guess. I
Meh.
don't know what else I would need to say about this. It's like a playable card. 1k is significantly less than 1/5, unfortunately.
It's like
Especially,
This
actually, is
is
it? It
this
is
is
because
niche,
it's a
right?
Shimakaze.
Playable niche.
a
Shimakaze.
playable niche kind of card because it's limited to formula mode only.
Yep, playable
There's no
niche.
way you can stuff it into anything but formula.
Mm-hmm. God, there are a lot of blue level zeros.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on playable niche. Alright, next card. Shamal, Time Space Administrative Bureau Medical Department. When this is placed from stage to hand to stage. I'm retarded. Put the top two cards of your library in the waiting room. If there's at least one climax there, you may put the top card of your opponent's deck in the waiting room. If you do, replace it with a card in your opponent's waiting room. God, that's a lot of text to do so little. It mills two, basically. It doesn't really do anything else. When this attacks, it gains X power for turn. X is 500 times the number of your other characters that are either blue or have Signum or Vita in name. Oh,
Very,
God.
very free mill.
This is the free meal that Nanoha needed, right?
Yeah, totally. You
Oh,
should just play
God.
this instead of the Hayate double R, right?
Yeah, look, that first effect is fine. Ironically, it's probably a lot better in the late game than in the early game, whereas the other effect is only really good in the early game, if that. I don't even think it's going to be good in the early game. It's milling two cards, and sometimes you check the top card of your opponent's deck, and in most cases, it's not a climax, so it never mattered at all. Uh, sometimes I guess maybe you get a card that you don't want them to have in clock out. Like if you see an alarm card, You can put a non-alarm card on, so you hit them for one, then they cancel twice. Then I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to be relevant. It's like so minor.
It's a cheeky
It's a,
free mill too.
it's mill two. That's what it is. It's mill two, and then it like gets slightly big on offense. And that neither is particularly special. I'm giving this a playable minus purely because you're lacking on mill. It's very very questionable as to whether you play this.
It's not a bad card.
Okay. Any other any other opinions?
No, it's pretty
It's a
boring
free
Not.
too.
mill too.
It is mill two.
That's all it does.
Kyrie, Day of Departure, 002K. When this is placed from stage to waiting room, you may pay one and ditch a climax. If you do, salvage a climax. So yeah, this is the climax swap I mentioned in one of the other videos. When this is placed from stage to waiting room, you may further ditch a card. If you do, choose a Irisu, Artificial Intelligence.
Wait, this has to die for that second effect?
Yes, it has to die.
Oh, that's sad.
Put it rested in any slot on stage. So,
Oh wait, oh
Arti-
never mind. Sorry, I misread this. Sorry. This is okay,
okay.
I guess.
So the point of this card is to basically guarantee you get your Irisu combo off. Not only does it quote unquote change into the Irisu, but oh okay, it's not a change, it's like a really it's not it's an advanced summon, I guess. That's the best thing I can say about it.
It
'Cause
filters into like your playable level 1 game.
yeah, it
Yeah.
hand filters, that's the way to put it. Um so actually there's lots to dissect here, isn't it? Because like at level 0, if this dies, you might be able to effectively summon a Irisu from hand, and it'll win a lane from then on in. And it swaps for climaxes in case you cancel with the Cruel Words climax, the Stock Soul, and have another climax in hand that you'd rather ditch. And it works later on in order to loop the climax, which is cool. We should note that Encore Phase comes before the end step, so you can't play the climax combo, have this die, and then salvage that same climax. That is not a available play to you, although it would be very, very powerful if that was the case. Luckily, it is not. So
The one cool thing I actually really like about this card is that the climax swap isn't it isn't tied to formula, or there isn't like a formula check for it, so you can actually like play this in the magic deck if you wanted to like turn your pants into shots to make sure you get your shot combo up at level 1, or turn
But
your gates into shots.
sure. But if you're playing, no, we call it pants. We are very much.
No,
old
I
school
like no,
here.
I mean gates, because like you can play Nanoha instead of the Hayate combo.
Sorry,
We
comebacks.
got we got a smart ass here, do we? That's okay. You can swap whatever it is you need, basically, is what he's trying to get at, which is cool. Like I did mention there was a climax swapper. I'm just not sure you play this because, well, can Nanoha salvage this? She can, right?
Yep,
Mhm.
salvage your
Yep,
character.
so
So like the fact that you're not magic doesn't matter.
that's kind of cool. All right. So I was going to give it a niche rating, but I think we can just give it a playable rating in that case. I think it's a playable plus in the formula deck. Like I think it gets a lot better in that deck, obviously. But in the normal deck, it's just a playable.
I think it might be a little bit better than playable plus in formula.
Yeah,
I think it's
sure.
like pushing good minus, because it just makes sure it guarantees, quote unquote guarantees, that you get your level 1 game off consistently, which is pretty good when like you don't
And
have
at
like a
some point,
good utility at 0 to like help
yeah.
get that off.
And you can also, if they don't clock or stock bomb it, you can also shit out a 1/0 at level 0, which is pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
It's nothing
whatever.
special, but
It's not
it's
that
like
great.
fine.
Cause it's probably
It's
gonna die.
fine.
It's probably gonna die.
It'll probably
What?
die on the swing back when they hit 1.
Yeah, sure. If you haven't hit 1 at that point, you can't really counter it, so sure. It's still fine. Next card is Del, questioning determination. Deru? Yes, that's correct. During your turn, all of your other childlike levy gain 1 level and 1 power. God, tell me that's not a vanilla.
It's not a vanilla. It's
Oh,
not a
thank God.
vanilla.
It's
Alright.
better than a vanilla, hooray!
When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay 1, ditch a card from hand. If you do, search for a magical weapon trait and add it to your hand. strictly better drop searcher than a vanilla drop searcher because it might fool someone into thinking you're playing that other card. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but it
that
has
other card is. I don't really care what that other card is.
It's a chaser. It's the Kengo. You know, the Kengo runner.
Okay, sure. Oh,
but
so
like
does that come with the bad trait of tapping itself if your opponent
Yes.
has like climax
Well,
and
I mean,
stuff
the
on it?
play is clearly to play this on turn 2, then get the thing, and then play that.
What's your opinion on playing this purely for the support effect and not getting the drop search value?
it sounds terrible. The
But you've got a
chaser's
four,
already chaser's already an oversize.
but it's a 4K level one. They can't side it.
No, it'll be no. It's only during your
5K.
turn. It's only during your turn.
What is
God, this card
doing?
sucks. Never mind. I was so excited for a moment. This card sucks.
Is there a
I
drop
definitely
searcher?
misread it.
Yeah,
It is.
the
It gets
Shamal
the
has a
drop
drop.
search.
Shamal has a 2K drop searcher, but it doesn't do anything else.
Uh, I must give this playable.
It is playable. It's a drop searcher. That's all it is.
And you
Yeah.
know,
Like,
I do want to point out that this is better than things like the old drop salvager, because that one goes to memory, which can interfere with Lindy. Uh, but
yeah, but
otherwise,
you have
that's
Shamal, and you can get like the really nice custom art because Shamal's old. So why
yeah. I
would you
guess
play this?
you're playing Nanoha, you kind of have to be playing it for the art, eh?
Yeah.
All right, playable. Next card. Kyrie, Anger and Sadness, 0025. When this attacks, if you have two or more other formula trait characters, this gains 2k for the turn. This card is, uh,
she gets really angry.
I noticed. This is like extremely mediocre. I'm going to give it a playable minus.
Uh,
You,
uh, what does this card do for you? I feel like this card's just bad. Like,
uh,
when are you ever gonna use this?
it's a more reliable way to hit 4-5 than mill 2 plus 1k for each X trait you mill, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, uh,
But
yeah,
the mill two plus power is a free mill two elf.
yeah, you're not wrong about that, but you're wrong about a lot of things in relation to actually I don't know where I'm going with this. You're less wrong than
God,
Connor,
this
so
card
go
is
on.
boring.
This card,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Next card, Shema, Mother Role in the Yagami household. It is a 103k. Gives 500 in front with assist, and when a character triggers a climax, give a character 2k for the turn. Sizable amount of power, but it's unreliable. So unless
It's
it's already on a sizable support, like with the Kuroko and Railgun, I tend not to value this very highly. What about you guys?
wait.
when are you ever gonna
Oh
need the 2K power when you trigger a climax?
For
man, this is
Kuroko,
level
you
1 too. It's
Very like
uh
fringe, and like if you're banking on triggering a climax to climb something, I think you're doing something wrong.
I feel like this
I
could have a role in the Hayate plus Guardians deck, um, simply as an assist, and sometimes it gets so high that your opponent can't even counter.
you're okay
Yeah,
with
I saw
playing a
some milk.
vanilla, like treat this as like a vanilla 500 assists, right? For the most part, are you okay with
If I'm
playing
if
that?
I'm in if I'm in a waifu or theme deck, my standards are very low, so I wouldn't be terribly opposed to it. But in any competitive context, I would not play this card.
Hmm.
I'm on playable minus. Playable minus niche even. Like I really don't see this going anywhere in any deck. Sometimes you will trigger a climax and you get them, but unless there's other relevant text on the card, I don't think it's a very powerful effect
I agree.
to just have on a card. It's opportunistic in a very unreliable way. Okay. Next card. Bell Flame Mana 1045. If you have two or more other magical weapon traits, this gains 1k, so that's in any deck, I guess. And when the battle opponent is reversed, if you have a book, the same book as level 3, it seems.
Yep.
Yes.
And you have another character with one of those names, Deark, Stel, Levi, or Yuri in name, and your opponent has two or more. Oh god, has two or more reversed characters. You may pay them.
Oh, this card is so bad.
If you do, draw up to 2 cards.
This card is so bad.
You +2 off of 2
Wait.
reverses.
Oh
And then you +4
no.
off of 3
There.
reverses. Wow, this card's
Oh
great.
no.
What if the first reverse is the Hayate?
I think the
Uh,
first reverse is probably going to be the other part of the other 1-0 that combos
Okay.
with the same book.
Yeah, this is. I told you, this is a super combo.
Yeah, it's
Super
like,
combo.
Combos with so many cards. How could it not be good? You're saving so much climax space. You get to run all these different combos that you would have had to spend climax space on otherwise.
Well, in fairness, the next card. Let's just talk about the next card.
Yeah.
Levi's Serious Stance 1045. If you have 2 or more other magical weapon traits, this gains 1k power. Climax combo. When you play the book, if this is in the front row, choose this and one other character with one of those names, and they gain 2k power for the turn.
I don't think the rating changes that much though. It's like
I also agree.
it's
This
like
is
this is like
minus.
pretty. I don't know if it's minus. I think it's playable mainly because
this
in
is
the
playable,
in
this is
that
playable
deck.
niche.
Yeah, I think it's playable
It's
niche.
playable.
It's like your only option if you're a level 1. Like
Yeah, because
You're-
you're forced
yeah.
into the climax.
I mean, this isn't bad with the Hayate, right? It's like
That's fine.
it's okay. Like
She doesn't pump Hayate though.
wait, she doesn't.
Pumps-
No. No.
Yeah, Three Stooges. and
Well, I mean, fine.
It's still
Yuri.
playable
You can
niche.
still
It's
you still play it. I think you still like this is like the best option for that deck at level 1. So
Because you're forced
Only
into the
option.
climax
It's
anyways.
the only reasonable option.
yeah. Well, beggars can't be
Okay.
choosers.
Playable niche. I mean, if you're playing Nanoha, you definitely can choose not to play this.
Well, if you're playing,
I-
if you really like these characters for some reason,
Well, you're really weird then. Hayate, Surprise Attack. It's a 2-1-2-5 counter. It's got a... When you use the 2-5 counter, you may pay to ditch a blue or magic card from hand. If you do, bottom deck one of your opponent's characters with a higher level than they are. So anti-change bottom deck counter. It doesn't sack, which is a little, disappointing, but it's a fine card, I think.
it's okay.
It's a level.
Just okay.
It's a level 2, so like you can tutor it with your 2-1 support.
At level 3,
Level 3, hooray!
I mean, not much else to say about this card. I
It
think.
gives you it gives you
Playable.
anti-change options that
Playable plus.
aren't either playing off trade or playing red.
I think it's playable plus.
The
It's not
edge
a very
counter.
exciting playable. Sorry?
Dang! Wait 1 second.
It's not a very exciting playable plus, but it is one.
It's not a
This would be
sexy
B.
playable plus.
It'd be a B as opposed to a B plus, but we have to give it playable plus,
I'm giving it playable.
Yeah, I'd say it's just playable.
I think you guys are underrating these counters at this point. I think they're more than fine, and you're happy to have them.
That can be playable. That can refer to playable.
It's the best card.
I don't think it refers to playable. Fusion Knight Reinforced 2. This card's really good. It's a 2-1-3-5 assist. All your level 3 and higher characters gain 2k power, so pretty good with advanced summons and with your end game. And up to once per turn, when you play a Ragnarok Breaker Hayate from hand to stage, search your deck for up to 1 level 2 or lower character and add it to your hand.
Good card.
So this is great because this turns every Hayate you play into a plus 2, I suppose, is how we talk about it.
I feel like we should quickly explain Ragnarok because it's an old card and we keep talking about it.
How about you explain it? I don't remember the exacts of it.
So when Ragnarok comes into play, draw 2, drop 1, and then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 2, ditch 2 characters with Hayate or Reinforce in their name. If you do, you can choose one of your opponent's front row characters and give them the effect they can't deal damage to you this turn.
So that comes before anything. So it comes before.
It
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't come
starts-
before climax. So
Yeah, it's at the start of their attack phase, so like it dodges on attack effects. So like if you're against Gochi and they Koko Chi, like you can completely deny Koko Chino, whereas like a normal anti damage will still eat the burn too.
Yeah, it works against side attacks.
It does work against side attacks as well.
yes. So it
Uh,
works against everything but hexproof, and it does not stop people from clock kicking. But otherwise, it is an extremely powerful anti-damage effect. It is non-conditional, so well, aside from being able to pick a character, and it can even work against opponents in empty lanes. So it's a very, very powerful effect. And the fact that this reinforce gives you additional cards in order to, do it multiple times, that's really strong. Like that effect used only once might not be enough to clinch out a game. Twice, at that point, you're making big plays. And I'm a big fan of big plays at the end game, and I think that this is one of them, and will ultimately be one of the mainstays of the meta deck. This card, as a result, I'm giving it a good meta rating because it enables all of that, and it even makes your advanced summon fates sizable, as opposed to being kind of
we'd
mediocre.
probably give the Hayate, the old Hayate, that same rating too. Similar rating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Without this card, it wouldn't be that good. Like, I actually think this card is the better
Well,
card.
sorry. I mean more that you would give the Well, you'd give the meta rating to the old Hayate too, right?
In a vacuum, probably not.
Hmm.
really. I think the old Hayate is like is the drive to play Nanoha. It's like the
This is
cool
like another glove situation. Holy crap. They're both
like
meta,
Yeah,
right? You can't
yeah
you can't say that.
like
unfortunately, that's probably what you have to do. But the thing is, whereas you can play the Hayate by itself and it won't be very good. But if you play it with this, they're both automatically
Okay, but if you
incredible.
play just this without the Hayate, it's not very good either.
It's still
I
fine.
mean
Like
the
it does
the old
probably more than the Hayate does, I think.
the old Hayate
Yeah, but it's not
is
good.
the old
Or
Hayate
meta.
is still serviceable. Like as long as you have the reflection cards to like make your deck serviceable as well. Like
Yeah,
the issue with Ragnarok, the issue with
it's a
Ragnarok before is
conjoined
like
thing.
it's like your Nanoha sucks. So you couldn't ever like actually afford it, but like now Nanoha's a real deck. It's like you can actually start affording this effect.
Yeah, it's a. Oh my God,
Chicken
Discord
and
deemed my
egg.
battery something terrible. All right, whatever. We can give the old card the rating. It's a conjoined rating. You can't really have one without the other nowadays. Like, there's no imaginary world where you'd want to rate them in a vacuum anyway. But I do think this is what pushes the combo over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Um, Diarch, Grand Desire is a 2-1 5K. All your other characters with, all those Three Stooges, whatever name, gain 1k power. And when another character becomes reversed in battle, choose a character to gain 1k for the turn.
Do you actually have to run
This is
this?
a very
It's
mediocre support.
Wait.
it's the best support in the Three Stooges
Yeah,
decks
but
and
do
the
you
best.
actually need this?
Mm, you might because like you don't have a level 2 game plan in that deck, so your 2 game plan is looping the 1/0 book combos. So
Is
Uh,
this actually better than like oh, I guess it is, because that second effect is not nothing. Yeah, whatever.
fine. Playable niche, I guess.
Sure,
yeah,
playable niche. Kyrie, Variant Fencer, it's a 2-1 7k. When it attacks, if the level of the character up to 3 or higher, it gains 6k for turn, and accelerate. At the start of your climax phase, you may clock yourself from your deck. If you do, it gains 1k and the following ability. When the battle opponent is reversed, you may draw a card.
Uh,
So it's a pretty decent whatchamacallit, pretty
range
decent
change.
assassin type card.
It's off trait. It's not magic. But that's that.
Obviously for the formula deck, but it's
Yeah,
just
wait, I mean, you could
very
search this with the Hayate. Come on, guys.
you can search with Ayate. You can grab it with Nanoha
You
Brainstorm.
can grab it with the reinforce.
you can actually get it with reinforced, but I think you're an idiot if you do so.
Yeah, you can accelerate to get that sick plus.
Oh my God, I went from 40%. My battery's not calibrated properly. Whatever.
It's niche,
Sure.
right?
This
Or
card is
playable? It's probably playable.
playable niche, I
I
think.
think it's playable. Thank you.
Okay. We have some.
I was not aware this guy had two level threes, but I guess here we are. 3295. This is more level threes than I think any other character in this set had. When it's placed from hand to stage, you may heal one, and when it's attacks, if you have four more other, those characters, choose one of your characters to gain 3k for the turn. So this is a trial deck level 3. Um, it's a playable, because it's a heal.
Yeah. No
Alright.
disagreement there.
If
Nope.
my computer just dies in the next, like,
Well,
10
we'll
minutes,
finish without you. Don't
I
worry.
know.
We'll leave you behind.
Dark. Frightening Darkness is 001k. All your other characters gain with magical weapon gain 500 power, and when it okay, sure. When you trigger a book, you may draw a card, if so, digicard.
Sick.
Nice. You make use of your 8 books that you have to play in your shitty deck.
It's like the lowest.
This
It's
isn't
so low impact.
This isn't even the good effects. Like the good effects would be pay one if you do draw a card.
It's so low impact. It's like.
Agreed. This is really low impact.
When we get to this card in ReZero, I expect a similar poo-pooing. Because, like.
Have you guys noticed that all of the thematic paint by numbers decks have like a brainstorm and then a specific support, and then you can upgrade the specific support to like a 2-1 support or a 1-1 support and keep the brainstorm. That's been the pattern they've been designing around for like months, if not years. It's just become very obvious recently. Alright.
So whatever.
Next character is Young Kyrie. It's a 0015. All of your other formula characters gain 500 power, and when you accelerate, you may tap this card. If you do that, really not effect. Whatever. You mill the top card of your opponent's deck, and then add a card from their waiting room on top of their deck. So that's super non-impactful effects that we dismissed completely with the Shamal. But I guess this is completely free if you're using accelerate. So
It's not free.
again,
You have to accelerate.
I.
Sucks.
well, I think the not free part refers to playing this card in your deck in the first place, because this card kind of does nothing after a certain while. Accelerating is something I think that the formula deck is going to be built with. So the cost is playing this card in general, which I think is not a very good card.
Yeah.
It's still a global 500, which is more than nothing, but it's very close to nothing. So I'm going to go with
Playable minus
playable
niche.
minus niche.
Yeah.
Alright, Rain, Tiny Guardian.
Yes! Favorite. Here we go.
During your opponent's turn, all of your pitch black wings Hayate gain 1 level and 1/5 power.
And what is Hayate Pitch Black Wings?
It's vanilla, isn't it?
Yes!
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's OP. It's okay. Is this better or worse than the other one? The other thingy, the drop searcher. Oh, I guess this is worse. Never mind, because the other one's a drop
To
searcher.
think about it, I don't really care. Like,
It's better because you ditch it with Ragnarok.
I just want you to say that the drop searcher is better than something.
drop searches are sometimes better than other cards. It's not common, but it's sometimes the case. Alright, can we move on? This card is bad, don't
Yes.
play it. Irisu, Kyrie's Frame, a 0025. At the start of your climax phase, if you have no other characters, you may discard a card from hand and sack this card. If you do, choose a level 1 or lower character in your waiting room with one of those names and put this in the slot this was in.
This is bad. Aye.
What? What are you supposed to pull out with this?
You're supposed to pull out the 1/1 that can't be reversed by costless cards.
God, please no.
Oh, that's coming up, isn't it?
No, it's so bad.
It's the only card that's worth pulling out.
I'm not sure there are cards worth pulling out.
It's so bad.
Yeah. No.
PDF2 cards.
This is pretty bad. If it was a girl, you would pull out really quickly. Levy, Trust in the King. This is a 0025. Wow, that's some really rude flavor text. When this is placed from hand to stage, gains 1/5 for the turn. This is a very mediocre beta. It is a... Oh god, it's like bad plus, right?
It's a bad plus.
Playable minus.
I think it's playable minus.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's
Because
just a
it's
bunch
like
of
Magic gets
Garbo
swiftly
cards.
outclassed by that Hayate, right?
Yeah.
Alright, Zafira, heading of the story, 0025. When it's placed from hand to stage, give a blue, Signum, or Vita character X power for turn where X is 500 times the number of your other blue, Signum, or Vita characters. So
Uh,
purely for that deck, occasional 1/5 or 2k pump, but you can't play it in any deck except that one. Not that you ever want to. Um, I don't know. It's like playable niche, I
Yeah.
guess. This is
yeah.
the fine
It,
power
it,
pump
it, it
for
pumps
that
the
Hayate
it
card.
pumps the 1-0 Hayate to get pluses. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is playable in the Stooges deck because they're all blue, right?
Yeah.
That
Uh,
makes me unhappy, but it's true.
all right.
Next card. Oh, oops. That's the vanilla. So we'll keep the battery. Oh, is he gone?
Elf? I think he died.
He's dead? Alright.
Yeah.
We'll continue on without him. We're on to... shoot. Levy, Childlike, 0035. When you play... This is the thing that combos, in quotes, with that thing we discussed earlier, the Drop Searcher. When this is placed from hand to stage, if your opponent's waiting for Mysterium or Climaxes, you have to rest this, and then it's a chaser, so at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this to an empty slot that has a character opposite it. This is probably worse than the 4K, so...
Hayate, yeah, because like the tap self condition can like actually become a liability in the late game.
Do you
Or,
have...
like, mid to late game.
This is a stooge, so... Wait. Is this a stooge? This is a stooge, right?
Yeah, yeah, Levy's a stooge.
So... Did the combo have field requirements?
You need it was like
Uh...
two other magics. I think it was two other magics for power. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant.
Well, if it required a stooge, then this would be relevant, I think. But, I guess not. So, this is probably just bad. Strictly outclassed in almost every way.
Yeah, it's a bad card.
Yeah. Next card. Stel, Serious and Loyal. 1/0, 6500 power character. You can't play this if you have 2 or fewer magic or weapon characters, and when this is reversed, this goes to the bottom of the deck. Solid filler beater for those slots that need filling, but I think in most decks, in that run blue, you have other filler beaters that are just way better, like the double Hayates, for example. I would play both of those over this. Over the first, I would play both of those at 4 over the first copy of this.
Because those cards like double as a 6/5 beater, and they do other things.
Yeah, I mean the thing this has over those is that this can sometimes win board, but this deck also isn't geared to win field. So
Like, you can try to go for it. You can make this like a
it's so
7K 2K counter.
it's not as
Shrug.
good. I think it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
Even
like niche playable minus.
I'm so
niche
close. This
playable.
is so close to bad, but nah. I mean, it's probably serviceable. I don't even think it's. Is this even niche? You can play this in playable minus. You probably call this playable minus. I think, but it's really close to bad. It's like really close to bad. But like, there's nothing preventing you from playing this as like a generic 6/5.
Oh, I mean, like the fact that you have like the 1-0 high taste that you'd rather be playing over this, that prevents you from playing.
But this is like not bad. It's not actively like. So. It's not strictly like outclassed in function either. It's just that those cards are just better for the slot. But like this obviously has some kind of role to play in some deck. That isn't bad. It isn't bad. It isn't a bad thing to have this card in a deck. So
Yeah, I guess playable minus.
yeah.
Whatever.
maybe like a C minus card probably, I would say. Next card is Stel. Another Stel card. King's Right Hand. 0/0. Wait.
It's a 1/1. This
No,
is
it's
the
a
one I was
1/1.
talking about.
Oh, it's a 1/1. Yeah, 1/1 5K power. This doesn't get reversed by cost 0 lower cards. And when this is played, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a magic weapon card, this gains 2k power for the turn, which is that Kirito clause. This is fine.
Uh,
It's like fine in like that deck, probably.
yeah, I guess it's like find one or two of.
Uh,
It can potentially give you like really like cheap costs, cheap pluses.
I don't see play. The problem with playing this is like Haite is just probably better, but if we're talking about pluses, because I don't see many metas where this actually just lives for more than one turn cycle.
Yeah, like as soon as they hit level 2 and they start dropping their early
Yeah,
builds,
they'll just kill this. This dies. And this will die sometimes. This will sometimes not even live a turn cycle against certain decks. Um,
it's like niche minus, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's just niche. Nah, crap. I think it's just niche actually,
All right.
because it's not of so low. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just hard. This card's hard to place. I don't think I would fault anyone for running this card. I think. Next card, Haite Flower Viewing Tea Time, 1285. Oh boy. This can't side attack, and it has hand on core, and it only has one soul. Has no soul trigger.
It's like your best level 1 standby target in like any standby
Seriously? Oh god.
Yeah.
That's
shell. That's like about all it
dang.
does, really.
Okay. I guess it's niche. You definitely don't play this in any deck besides like a standby focus deck,
God, no. Like,
which is probably.
when
I
did you
guess.
ever see 2 for this card at level 1?
I guess this is just like a playable niche card then. Maybe playable minus,
Yeah.
depending on how much you value this slot. I think it's okay. That it has hand on core is really nice, so can't really fault it too much in the deck that's focused around getting this at levels 0 and level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Next card, Shamal, Heading of the Story, 2135. This is a level assist in front, and on play, you draw drop. It's alright. The problem is this is blue, so
It's fighting for the slots to reinforce supports.
yes. So if you're playing blue in Nanoha, you're probably playing Ragnarok Breaker, so you're probably playing Reinforce, which means you're probably not playing this card.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's like
Still
okay.
good. Hand filter and a level support, like there's nothing bad about this
Yeah,
card.
it's like
just,
fine. It's just the Reinforce is
your
just
slots.
like way
It's fine.
better. It's like way
You
better.
can't beat the reinforce support for the support slot.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I guess this is just playable, but it's kind of sad. This card would probably get more attention if that Reinforce didn't exist, but oh well. This one is one of the meme combos. Yuri Mysterious Girl, 217k. This gets 500 for every magic or weapon character, so it's 209k. Combo with the book. Devil that kills the star. When that climax is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row and you have another character with a magical weapon, search a magical weapon character, reveal it, and then everyone gets 500 power. Wow, this is so underwhelming. Wow, that's like pretty. Huh, that's interesting.
It
wait.
doesn't do enough.
So this isn't this three.
level 2
So this is
combo.
a Three Stooge deck.
Yeah.
So you have to run this card anyways because it's your brainstorm, right? If
Yep.
uh
Well, you don't have to run it. Like, you can just opt not to, and just play like the book as an empty book. I
Or you
guess.
could just not play the book and play like a different brainstorm. Maybe. Oh my god.
Yeah,
The
like
fact that I'm even thinking about that is
if
this
you're trying to make 3
combo.
Stooges good, you just play the Nanoha brainstorm,
This
right?
combo is like whatever. So non impactful. I
That's niche,
It's
I guess.
niche. Oh
Niche
god.
minus. I don't know. What's the card trying to do?
It's like. Oh wait, no, this is okay with the 2-1 assist deck. This is the reason to play that 2-1 assist actually. Uh that card is okay. Okay. I'm just gonna give it playable niche. I think this is fine with the 2-1 assist. I just remember that card exists, so it's like pretty. It's like fine. It'll be like a 2-1 10k. 2 10 5 11 5 on attack with this combo. Pluses you. It's like fine. In this deck, I think it's like a reasonable payoff for playing that book. So, yeah, I think it's fine. It's like okay, right? Especially if you get multiples out. It's pretty high powered field for what you're paying for. Do you disagree or?
Uh, I don't know. I think plussing combos to level 2 just like aren't really impactful, and then like it's not big enough that it's gonna live through like opponents' early plays. It's like fighting for the board.
Well, if you have multiple, I mean that's why you need multiples. Like this card becomes a lot harder to attack if you have multiples and you have that 2-1 assist, which I guess is like asking for a lot. But
That's asking for a lot when your level 1 plus is draw 2.
that's true.
It's like,
I mean, I think it's still reasonable payoff. Like, if you're running these books anyways in this Three Stooges deck, like, why not run this? It's like,
better than nothing.
yeah. Next card. Iris, Eltruine Girl, 217k. When this attacks, this gains 1k for every other formula character. And when it attacks, you can also ditch a Kyrie character. Wait, sorry. You ditch a Kyrie character from your stage to your waiting room to reveal the top card of your library. If it's a character, if it's a magic or formula card, you put it into your hand. Wow, that's interesting, actually.
It lets you crash shitters. Or like, yeah, it lets you
I don't know.
shitters and then turn them into potential pluses, I guess.
It's like kind of a plus. It's like a plus if the card is gonna die. If you know the card's gonna die anyways, which is like, it's like pretty gray as far as like where the card economy is concerned. But it's like okay, it's not selective, which really sucks. I think that's like the biggest problem with this kind of effect.
She gets pretty big, I guess, is also one thing.
Kinda like 11k, I guess. It's not bad.
11k plus supports. It's like if you're like it gives you something to try to contest like decks like Rewrite that are trying to win board with level 2s instead of level 3s. It's like your the Kyrie that gains 6k. Like she normally can't do anything to like the Lucia 2 ones. So, like this gives you an out to them, I guess.
It's alright.
You still need to power bump it.
Does this make it into the formula deck? Is this a niche you need filled?
I don't think so.
It's like it's okay. It's like a cool card. Like this kind of like profile is really cool. I think there's a Jack that does something similar. In Apocrypha.
Like I feel like I wouldn't play this, but at the same time, I don't think I'd be upset having it in my deck as like a 1 to 2 of.
Okay. Maybe playable niche, playable minus niche. Maybe I don't know. I actually no. I'm gonna give this playable minus niche. This is like one of those cards that's like super low. I think it's actually really low impact, but it's a cool way to recycle cards that have already like outlived their usefulness on the board by attacking. So it's like it's fine. Moving on. Kyrie, Eltrian Girl, 227k. This gets 1k for every formula character. So it's gonna be 11k, 2 soul. Is this not this? Is this like in the standby deck?
Well, uh, it only power checks for formula.
Oh wait, never mind.
So
This sucks. This card sucks. Okay, I'd rather run the 2-1 over this. I think for sure. Oh, this is just. I don't think this is good at all. Actually, this is like really subpar. Wait, do you have an early play that you want to?
No.
No. No, I'd still run the 2-1. I'd still run the 2-1 over this. This is like not worth the price of that like price of entrance entry fee. Price of entry. There we go. It's not even worth putting in. You definitely don't play this, right? You're not so starved for slots that you'd play this in formula.
God no.
Okay. Next card. Beginning of the end. Ooh. But the effect is distinctly not very ominous. Search 2 formula characters. It's a 2-in event. Search your deck for up to 2 formula characters, reveal them, add them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck, and then discard a card. So it's
a standard.
Yeah.
Search 2 gets 1.
Yeah.
Formula.
Only grabs formula. Niche by default. I think this kind of card is perfectly playable in that kind of deck, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a way to like sculpt into your end game.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And like a cheap cost.
It does cost stock, though. I don't know how willing you'd be to pay that stock at that point in the game.
Like one stock to sculpt 2 cards. If like you really need to sculpt those 2 cards is worth it.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah, it's not a knock against the card. It's just like something you have to keep in mind if you play this deck. Yeah, okay. So that was it for blue. We will be back shortly for the overview, hopefully with our favorite Australia back in the mix. See you then.